loud and clear by every senior citizen in America. Every single senior citizen in America knows how expensive the costs of prescription drugs are. Just as every single senior citizen knows the real tragedy in America is that people who have paid into system all their lives, are asked to pay more when they finally try to redeem their already earned benefits. It is a scandal and I consider it a form of blackmail. For when you're sick or start a drug regime as you get older, you got no leverage. Advertisement, even though you paid into the system your whole life. It is an unnecessary burden on a population that has already given everything and sacrificed much to keep the American dream going full tilt. They spent their lives contributing to furthering America and freedom. They have fought wars, built businesses, and kept the trains running on time. They should be rewarded, not screwed by greedy drug companies, who are mainly responsible for the rapid increase and out-of-control costs for health care. Most Americans have no idea how much seniors pay out of pocket for the medicine they need to live a fuller life or just survive. It is a real scandal. Our medical system is the best in the world because we encourage innovation and profit. But it is also the most costly, and we need to find a better balance, as Trump often pointed out on the campaign trail. The costs of drugs are too high, plain and simple. When you consider what they cost, the same drugs, mind you, in Canada, one can only come to the conclusion that the drug companies are ripping off American citizens. Trump has played nice so far, but behind the scenes he has been battling hard for Americans. After the Obamacare repeal debacle by the GOP Congress, most thought Trump has given up on getting us a better deal on health care. Not a chance. Trump just tweeted, now that Ken Frazier of Merck Pharma has resigned from President's Manufacturing Council, he will have more time to lower rip-off drug prices. Alaskan Bush Peoples reveal Emmy's cancer prognosis, please pray. Emmy Brown from Alaskan Bush People is diagnosed with lung cancer. It was recently announced on the TV series that Emmy has lung cancer, which is in stage 4. On the latest episode of the TV series, fans got an update on her condition. Billy, Emmy's husband, revealed how serious her condition is. TMN Today City's Billy, Emmy's hurting pretty bad, he said during Wednesday night's episode. We're in for probably a lot harder road than we've ever faced. There's no doubt about that. Sheila McCormack, the executive producer, delivered the treatment news to the family on the show. TMN Today City's McCormack, so the radiation is 5 days a week for 6 weeks. After the radiation, once a week she goes to the other building and they put in 4 in her and she gets chemotherapy for 4 hours. Emmy only weighs 94 pounds as cancer made her unable to walk properly. McCormack also said that if she continues to lose pounds, a feeding tube will be inserted in her. Her 32-year-old son Bam is taking the news very hard. He said while he was hugging his mother, he felt how thin she was. TMN Today City's Bam, what's going on now is the most difficult thing we've gone through because of who it's happening to, because it's mom and because of what it is. It makes a house burning down or a boat sinking or needing 5 stitches no big deal. This is really difficult. I don't even know what to say. The Brown family is saddened by Emmy's condition. However, they are fighting to save her life. In this case, they should be prepared for the worst case scenario. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death worldwide. In 2012, cancer took 8.2 million lives worldwide. It is expected that this number will rise in the next 20 years. Our thoughts and prayers are with the Brown family during this hard time. Breaking: President Trump set to issue first pardon. For so long, illegal immigration represented an ugly problem for this nation. While Trump and his supporters want to remove the burden from America, the liberals are doing anything to protect their voting base. 2 weeks ago, Joe Arpaio, the former Arizona sheriff, was found guilty of criminal contempt for defying a state judge's order to stop traffic patrols targeting suspected undocumented immigrants. The former sheriff is an honest man and is known as a vocal opponent of illegal immigration. President Trump found out about this judge's decision and stated that he is considering issuing a pardon for the sheriff, which would be his first in office. In case he decides to do it, the pardon will happen in the next few days. Fox News reports the president said, "I am seriously considering a pardon for Sheriff Arpaio. He has done a lot in the fight against illegal immigration. He's a great American patriot and I hate to see what has happened to him." Arpaio, 85, was convicted by U.S. District Judge Susan Bolton of misdemeanor contempt of court for willfully disregarding an Arizona judge's order in 2011 to stop the anti-immigrant traffic patrols. Arpaio had maintained the law enforcement patrols for 17 months after the judge's order. People say that he is the toughest sheriff in America. Arpaio confirmed that in fact he prolonged his patrols, but insisted he did not intend to break the law because one of his former attorneys did not explain to him the full measure of the restrictions contained in the court order. He is facing 6 months in jail. Fox News thinks that since he is 85 years old and has no prior convictions, some attorneys doubt he will receive any jail time. Is there anyone in local law enforcement who has done more to crack down on illegal immigration than Sheriff Joe? Trump asked. Many Arizona citizens admire the sheriff. Arpaio's widely publicized tactics included forcing inmates to wear pink underwear and housing them in desert tent camps where temperatures often climbed well past 100 degrees Fahrenheit. He also controversially brought back chain gangs, including a voluntary chain gang for women prisoners. Civil liberties and prisoner advocates, as well as supporters of immigrants' rights, have criticized Arpaio for years, ending in his prosecution. He lost his bid for re-election last year. Trump, on the other hand, continued, "He has protected people from crimes and saved lives. He doesn't deserve to be treated this way." Arpaio also endorsed Trump way back in January, and that is why the president responded in kind, "I might do it right away, maybe early this week. I am seriously thinking about it." Trump could decide to await the outcome of an appeal by Arpaio's lawyers, who contend their client's case should have been decided by a jury, not a judge. In a statement after the verdict, his attorneys stated, "The judge's verdict is contrary to what every single witness testified in the case." Arpaio believes that a jury would have found in his favor and that it will. Reached Monday for reaction to the possible pardon, Arpaio expressed surprise that Trump was aware of his legal predicament. "I am happy he understands the case," he told Fox News. "I would accept the pardon because I am 100% not guilty." Regardless of whether he receives a pardon, nobody can deny what Sheriff Joe has done for this country. You'll die laughing when you hear Trump called CNN reporter right to his face. After announcing a new China investigation on Monday, Donald Trump reminded CNN's Jim Acosta that he believes that he and his network are fake news. Jim Acosta was the token from the press pool at the president's presser Monday about China. Acosta is annoying every time that he opens his mouth. It's actually impeccable. Every single time he opens his mouth, he's annoying. Advertisement. Acosta asked President Donald Trump, "Can you explain why you did not condemn those hate groups by name over the weekend?" "They've been condemned," Trump said with a smile on his face. "They have been condemned." Of course, Acosta didn't take that for the fact that he was. He thinks that if he is rude and disrespectful he can bait the president into saying something that is bad. Acosta and Trump had a little battle back and forth about whether or not the president held a press conference Monday. Trump considered his earlier comments on Charlottesville as a press conference. "It should count. It doesn't matter that the fake news wasn't there to ask questions. In all likelihood, they would have tried to tie the president to some white supremacist. Can we ask you some more questions then?" Acosta asked. "It doesn't bother me at all, but I like real news, not fake news," Trump said. "You're fake news." It took a few seconds for Acosta to shoot back, "Haven't you spread a lot of fake news yourself, sir?" Yes, Acosta believes that Trump has spread fake news. I'm not sure how he has, but because Acosta of CNN said it, it must be true. Advertisement. It's always funny to see Jim Acosta thinking that he's smart and then watching him struggle to find the words he wants to spew at the president. What do you think of Acosta? Should he quit? Breaking: GOP confirms date Steve Scalise will return to work in Congress. After a while, finally some good news. Back in June, a shooting happened at Republicans' congressional baseball practice. One anti-Trump supporter decided to took things too far and shot House Majority Whip, Steve Scalise. Things were critical at the start, but few days after he went out of danger, and now he is ready for work. GOP Representative Garrett Graves of Louisiana said he expects Scalise to be back to work in September. Steve Scalise is one of the 5 victims in the attack, where 66-year-old James Hodgkinson took aim at roughly 24 GOP lawmakers at a baseball field in Alexandria, VA. Capitol Police officers Crystal Griner and David Bailey, Tyson's food lobbyist Matt Mika, and congressional staffer Zach Barth were also wounded in the attack. Daily Caller reports, he's coming back next month. So we'll see how that goes. He may be fighting off doctors at the hospital to come, Graves told WWL Radio Monday. Steve is a fighter. His attitude and spirits have remained very high. Currently, Scalise is focused on improving his condition with rehabilitation after multiple surgeries and blood transfusions went out of danger. His office will provide updates on his condition and plans to return when appropriate. His doctor, on the other hand, said that he was as critical as you can be when he came in after being shot in the hip. Graves said it's miraculous more people weren't injured during the shooting, noting the amount of ammunition Hodgkinson managed to fire before Scalise's security detail were able to control the situation. It is a miracle that he sent off, according to Trent Kelly, perhaps 80 rounds, the gunman, 80 rounds from a high-caliber rifle, and the only person that died was him. That is amazing, he said. Liberals can't stop us. This is wonderful. Scalise is finally out of danger. So glad to know he's recovering and coming back to work. Breaking: China makes major sacrifice to support President Trump and America. This morning is full of surprises. Since President Trump took office, the relations between China and the United States got worse, and this is why this move is very unusual to us. China made a step forward and made a massive announcement in support of America against North Korea. They just decided to carry out United Nations sanctions that were imposed on North Korea earlier this month. Cons Nation reports that this isn't the only thing. President Trump was on his way to Washington this morning to order an investigation into China's trade practice. This could lead the United States to impose their own sanctions on Beijing. President Trump has sought help from China because they have the capability to apply massive financial pressure on North Korea if they wanted to. However, in the recent months, he has gotten less help from China, not more, which is what led him to the trade probe. He was highly critical of China during the election but softened his tone when reaching the White House. Trump also tweeted this morning that he is officially the president is back in Washington. The president planned on giving us this information first, but China's Commerce Ministry on Monday has officially announced that all imports of coal, iron ore, lead concentrates and/or lead and seafood from North Korea would be banned. Meanwhile, Cons Nation says that U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, called it the single largest economic sanctions passage against Pyongyang. However, she went on to give a warning to other council members, stating, "We should not fool ourselves into thinking we have solved the problem, not even close. China's step is very significant not only for America but to the whole world. North Korea is threatening the world and has been for too long. Special sanctions like this one need to be provided